Good morning. Good morning. First and foremost, prayers go out to everyone affected by the shooting that happened yesterday in Florida. Um, we never want to see this happen, especially at any level. Young adults, old adults, public places. We just don't want to see violence. And I think that we can all understand that. Even if there is a reason that the person wanted to be violent, we all would like to believe that, hey, was there another way to address this issue? There will be some to say that we should not politicize this. We should not, turn this into, hey, how can we make reform or how can we do these things? I would ask you to continue to have a multifaceted thought process around this situation. The FBI defines mass shootings as four or more individuals being killed. The Gun Violence Archives defines it as four or more shot or killed. These are both excluding the actual shooter. In the past 20 years, Florida has had over 100 mass shootings. I pulled the data. What's bothersome is I went back and I took out the time to go through legislation for the past 20 years. The Marjorie Stoney Douglas Hill Schools Public Safety Act, Senate Bill 7026, was passed in 2018. Keep this in mind, in the past 20 years, Florida has had 100 mass shootings. The next thing that happened was changes to the gun laws in 2023, which replaced the requirement for a permit to carry or conceal firearms in public, maintain prohibitions on open carry. Notable bills that were presented but not passed. House Bill 31, this was done in 2025, carrying and possession of weapons and firearms. It would have prohibited the carrying of concealed handguns or unconcealed firearms without a license. It was filed December 9th, 2024. It was withdrawn prior to induction on January 2nd, 2025. Various attempts to appeal age restrictions between 2023 to 2025. Multiple bills introduced to lower the minimum age to purchase firearms back to the age of 18, because that initial bill I told you about, the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act, Senate Bill 7026, raised it from 18 to 21. These measures have not become laws as of April 2025. Overall, prior to 2018, Florida has had a reputation for relatively weak gun laws. And I understand. First things first, I had to keep your attention. We're 3 minutes into this video. I had to give you data and hope that it's important enough for you to just take on a perspective. That the idea of mitigation does not mean that we can stop everything. It means that we put in safeguards to try to limit the outfall, to try to limit the mayhem. We put in mitigation, we put in barriers so that we know it's gonna come, because we know we can't legislate morality. We know we can't stop people from being angry. We know we can't do these things. We know this. So we have to put in measures. We put in police. We put in different safety measures everywhere to limit. Applying a speed limit doesn't mean people aren't going to speed, but it does give you a visual aid to say, hey, if you speed above this limit, the accident could be, or more than likely will be, worse. So here's a speed limit that is safe just in case something happens. So we know that there is really no way to stop crime. That's not the case. But should we be continuing to work towards mitigation efforts? When I go out and I meet people, some walk past, some don't speak, some try not to make eye contact, and I'm just offering power. That is my sole goal. It is to offer the citizen power. It is the power to control elected officials. If you are telling me that we need no mitigation efforts, and we are going to continue to leave it in the hands of an unmitigated populace, if we're not going to try to figure out any way to address it. 100 mass shootings, and all I'm asking is, hey, could we have had more than 3 or 4 bills be addressed over 20 years? I honestly do not think that's much to ask. I really don't think it's much to ask, but maybe it is. But it's up to the citizens. Is it something that citizens want? And if it is something that you want, is the power to control your environment, is it not worth the time it takes to hear me out? Is it not worth the moment it takes to take a document from my hands and look it up? What will it take? Does everything have to end up at our doorstep before we take it serious? Hope without action, you might as well be dreaming, because there's nothing that's real. You must put action behind your hope. You must put action behind your movements. Walking with no destination leads you to nowhere. You will end up somewhere, but you didn't intend on being there. Where I want citizens to end up is in charge of elected officials. What I would like to see is the idea of intellectual herd immunity as it relates to politics. Reach one, teach one. Understanding that being inclusive, being brought into the informational circle, allows you to be a part of the conversation and not just a recipient of the actions of those in which we put in the office. We do not just want to be recipients of the people that come out and ask us to hire them. And this is me asking to be hired. It is important to continue to remain multifaceted. You can multitask. You can do more than one thing at a time. You just have to prioritize those things that you're going to do. You can do it. We must do it, and we must figure it out together. I told y'all, this is gonna end in unity. And let me be clear about something, and I want to bring this up. When I talk to you about things being taken away, those federal judges that we have, House Resolution 1526, that the 119th Congress right now are talking about passing. This bill limits the authority of federal district courts to issue injunctions. You must understand that when federal district courts make their pronouncements, it's a nationally felt thing. This means that individuals want to remove that safeguard, that mitigation, that boundary that maintains a level of checks and balances. While yes, I have told y'all that lobbying is a problem, and in this state, even though we know that our representatives are being lobbied legally, I might add, they are being paid legally, I might add, to present bills and pass bills that may not be for the people. Legally done. That we are trying to pass a resolution 1205. That it will cost the average person, the average citizen, the average grassroots individual upwards of $1 million to bring up an issue, to ask, to beg that an issue even be brought to the people will cost you $1 million. And I just know that Florida just don't have 23 million millionaires walking. We do not. So I am imploring upon you. You can make those phone calls, and let me discuss metrics really fast. No matter how many phone calls you make, no matter how many emails you send in, you never see the number, because we don't keep data and metrics on things that don't matter. Do you understand that? That you can make all the phone calls. They don't keep the, hey, I would not like this to happen. And then they don't put that information out to say, I received 23,000 phone calls from my district that said they don't want this to happen. They don't keep those numbers. They don't put those numbers out because those numbers don't matter. Because once you elect these current representatives, you don't matter after they get in those seats. And I am here to change that. I am here to change that, to make the citizen matter, to make the average non-millionaire, non-politically elected citizen matter. I'm here to do that. And I will get outside. I will keep knocking on doors. I will keep getting walked past. And there will still be individuals that do take out the time to listen and that do stop and that do share the message and that do remember that if by June of next year, I don't get at least 1,800 petitions in every county, and I'm going to visit every county in Florida. If I don't get 1,800 petitions, that at least you remember that Rodney Christopher Glover needs to be written on your ballot. November 3rd, 2026. So in June of next year, I have to have at least 1,800 people in every county want to have power over their elected officials and do their part. Not hope that I do well, not wish me luck on my endeavor, but be a part of this journey. You don't need to wish me luck. You need to take control. Hey, wish you good luck on that. No need if you're going to do your part. I don't need your luck. I need your action. You don't need luck. You need action. You don't need just hope. You need hope with action. Let's get activated. Because we could put in mitigation efforts. We can try to mitigate. We could try to mitigate what we know for a fact we cannot stop completely. But at least we can slow it down and make sure that we have enough safeguards in place. And that's important. And this is the biggest safeguard to citizens that you could ever have, is a form of direct democracy by way of legislative authority. Please give it some consideration. You guys have a great day.